David Waters, Gators Breakdown, joining us to talk Florida football following the spring game on a Friday night. David, in regards to the coaching changes, there were five during the offseason. Could you really tell a difference in regards to the approach, reports that you heard out of camp? Do you think it was a tangible shakeup that could be seen in the style of play?
Well, one I expected to see and we didn't see was the offensive line. We've talked about how they would come out and not necessarily put enough fire on themselves, not be aggressive enough. And that was the case again at the spring game. The first team offensive line didn't necessarily create the push that you would think they would create against the second team offensive line, especially with Brad Davis. And the reviews we have heard about him as new offensive line coach through spring practice, how fiery he was, how on these guys he was, and making sure mentally they're prepared to play harder. They're prepared to play with more fire. So Jim McCoy called this offensive line out after the bowl game, saying how they have to get more aggressive. And we did not see that in the spring game. A little bit disappointed there, if you ask me. TJ McCoy, a center, probably played one of his, if you want to kind of just go back to last season after he was inserted at center about halfway through the season. The spring game, I love what I saw from him last year. The spring game, he kind of disappointed. But if we go and read through some practice reports of spring, just maybe it was just a bad night. Maybe it was just a bad night for the offensive line. But when we wanted to see wanted to see steps taken, we didn't see the necessary steps taken where this offensive line will start pushing other opponents around. Jordan Scarlett shouldn't have to create a lot of plays and a lot of yards himself. He needs more help from this offensive line to where he can get to the second level before he's being hit. This offensive line has to help him. Going back to and talking about Felipe Franks, one thing this offensive line did do, there was some clean pockets for Felipe Franks for most of the time. Yes, he's going against the second team defensive line. There's a little bit of talent there, but for the most part, Felipe Franks didn't have any pressure whatsoever when he dropped back to pass. So that was one change from the coaches that we saw.